Hi there, this is John Anthony Francis Wilcox, and today is Saturday, the 9th of December, 2023, as the year continues to fly on by. Hope you're all doing well. Let's fill you in on the week. One of my biggest things that I'm so pleased of occurred yesterday. So I've had for months now to get this review done that hasn't been wanting to get done of the Jethro Tull box set for The Broadsword and the Beast. And I think I was getting too caught up in the specifics of it. It's a daunting thing. It's 8 discs, 5 CDs, 3 DVDs, and it also has a hefty book with it. So I was like, am I going to talk about every song? Am I going to? And I was just getting in the way, and then I lost a whole month because of, and a month and a week really, because of having to redo the house, declutterify it and all that kind of stuff. So it just wasn't getting done, and I just wasn't feeling it. And I sort of had my Jethro Tull epiphany and said, "What do you feel about it, John? That's what you should write about." So I got over the nonsense of I'm going track by track by track. Here's what this thing is, and it's like, let me tell you why this is an important album to me. That I did, and then what do I feel about how Steven Wilson, who did the remastering and new mix, did on this? What do I like about it? What are the misconceptions about it? And I got into that. And then I was like, all right. And then for those that want to know it, here's what's on the discs, just generally. Disc one has the album remixed and these extra tracks. Some extra tracks, this many, blah blah blah. Disc two, disc three, I went through the whole thing. Then talked about the book some and what comes with it, what's in it, and how much I really enjoyed this box set. Because it doesn't need to be more than that. And I was just overthinking it. And I think it's because it's one of my favorite Tull albums that I was just overworking it in my brain. So having gotten that done is a huge relief. I feel like I'm an inch taller um, just from the relief. So that was glad to get that done. Also, I want to talk about a book. I know I show a lot of show and tell. All right, so this is a book called Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. And she's 4 years younger than me. She was born in '64 over in Japan. And it's sort of a novelette and a novella, or whatever you want to call that. There's a 105-page story and a 50-page story in here. So this is my copy that I bought back in the day in '93, '94, and I read it back then, and I remember that I really enjoyed it. And I don't remember why I enjoy it. I remember that I enjoyed it. So I decided, 30 years later, to read it again. And boy, am I glad I did. Reading it now and what it deals with a lot of things that are in today's society, I guess you'd say, in the news sense, in that someone in it is a transgender person, and certain issues like that. But the majority of the book deals with love and comfort and dealing with the situations that life hands you and the power of love and allowing other people into your life and not denying that, be it a romantic relationship or a friendship or a familial relationship, and the importance of all of those. It's an incredibly positive book for all of its melancholy, and reading it now, it means so much more because my life experience is more, And there are points in this that resonate now more than they could have possibly then, because this is someone that's lost her parents and her grandparent and other people in her life in the main story. And then a similar thing in the secondary story. The second story, the first story is called Kitchen, and the second is called Moonlight Shadow, named after the old Mike Oldfield song, and she talks about that being an inspiration for it. Um, and that's a very interesting kind of a part of the story hinges on, I'm going to say, fantasy, a fantastic situation. But let me show you this again. And yes, her name is Banana Yoshimoto. It's not a fake name, it's her real name. Let me give this book my absolute highest recommendation. I can't think of anyone that I know, well, maybe one or two people, but only one or two, that would not enjoy this book. Please track it down and read it. It's sold millions over the years, and deservedly so. But much of my week was finishing up that book, and I'm starting the next book, which this camera is currently sitting on. The next book called NP, which is about almost a 200-page novel about people translating a man's short stories and the lives of the people doing that. It's interesting so far, and I'm sure it will. I don't think she's going to disappoint. I like Yoshimoto's approach to her writing. It's very conversational. It's very. It feels very young. I mean, you know, if I read it in '93, I was 33. She would have been 29, but she had already written it several years before. So she was in her mid 20s when she. Very sophisticated for someone that age as well. Sophisticated for someone any age. But it's really a book worth your while. I don't often go on about something like that, but very excited to have read that again. Sorry I waited so long, and yet it's almost like I was called to read it again. It just kind of fell back into my brain as I came across it as we were moving stuff, and I'm like, oh, definitely want to read that again. So, beyond that, um, gearing up for Christmas, whatever that, I'm still figuring out. I mean, I'm probably going to do a pot of sauce and some pasta and stuff, but mentally getting there. And today had a lovely conversation with my friend Suzanne. Got a lovely gift in the mail from my friend Larry, and everything's going forward. Forward is how we go. So I love you all. Take care. I will see you next week. Bye bye.